18 months ago, we took on this abandoned, derelict house in the west of Ireland. With absolutely no experience whatsoever, myself and my wife Claire did everything. From stripping the roof, to digging the foundations, to building an extension, fully clad. During this time we lived in a caravan, and one thing our two teenage kids wanted more than anything was a bedroom. Over the last week we have worked our fingers to the bone to get their bedrooms finished, and today we want to share with you a little tour of those rooms. We really hope you enjoy it. But first, Claire has to do a bit of plastering and I gotta fix some of the carpentry mistakes I made. Let's get into it. Those of you here from the beginning, thank you so much. Your support means the world to us. And to those new here, pop a subscribe, why don't you? And a like, it helps. We got loads planned I'm sure you're gonna love. Let's go in.
So we're moving on.
I forgot something important.
It is what it is. We see.
Welcome to our home. Check this out.
Bit of news on the grant. Difficult to get right.
Chop 'em up. So, you must be wondering, what do we do next? Very clingy.
We have one hell of a snag list.
Where is the snip snappies?
Snuggle up here.
Ah, no. Are you here for the tour?
I sure am. Right. I've plastered into about here just to turn the rough cement into a more smoother surface. I think in parts I could have done a better job, but it is what it is, and I'm just going to get this done now as far as I can on both sides. Just painting the plaster, I'm leaving the stones obviously, so we'll see what it looks like when I'm done.
Love this slightly exposed stone look. I think it just transforms the old building.
Back to whitewash. Just giving this a second coat, kind of hoping that it'll come up and I won't have to do a third one, but we see. It's going on well, and this first coat went on very well. It's just a case of, you can see where it's grey here, but then it's super white over there. The mix is difficult to get right. It'll be like double cream kind of consistency. We'll keep going and see how the coverage goes.
Hey folks, we're delighted to let you know that our limited edition Rooney Red Setter postcards are now available. If you would like your Rooney approved postcards, head below to our Ko-fi store where you can pick up one and get a secret message from us. If you would also like our original West Cork Wander Farmhouse postcards, get them at the same store, but hurry, prints are limited. Today I am fixing some problems that I made the last day I put the door on. I forgot something important, check this out. So here you can see I put the trim on the door, lined it up perfectly, but I forgot to put the trim which stops the door from closing, so you could pull it straight through. And you see all this unsightly gaps around the door. So I need to take off the trim, I need to put back on the parts from the door frame that are missing, and then I need to shuffle the trim over like a centimetre, which means I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off the top, so bit of work gotta do. So the trim is 6 centimetres, but because our doors are wider, as you saw in the last video, I need a trim of like 4.5 centimetres to go on the inside as a door stop. So I got a few more scraps. I'm gonna take them down to the barn, chop them up. Really down the dredges now, trying to find the correct scrap size pieces of OSB for the upstairs. So I have one here. This is my very final piece. It's an offcut that I use for Ashton's door, so I'm gonna get 2 nice lengths of 4.5 for that. I'll try to get the rest in 6 for the skirting boards. So let me just measure that up and cut it down. This is the little Parkside saw. I got some great tips from you guys for why the saw blade was sticking. So I changed saw blade, works brilliantly now, and I will be careful cutting the big kind of like chunks of wood. It's absolutely flying through these small pieces of sheet wood, and I would say hands down it's perfect for that. It certainly made my job easier doing this. And that's skirting board, architrave and trim. Check. All right, let's get some of this stuff nailed in. No hands. Okay, let's just pause that for a minute. I need to find a pencil and a saw. So yeah, this was a fail by me. I've no excuse really. It's hanging, it's looking good now. It's not straight, the hinges are old. Everyone's happy with it though. Where is the snip snappies? Going back on now, super easy. Very enjoyable because I know doing this job twice, I'll never be doing it again. It looks good and there are a few gaps, but we get over. Here we have the door fit. And now you can see there is no gap through there. So we drop that down a little bit and we can see this fit as well. Looking pretty good. We also have a dog that's very clingy, just getting in my way with everything. Here we have the skirting. It's gone in, gone around. It's there in the corner. It's in this corner now. And that's as far as I'm going to go. I have not done anything here because this is not a priority. I need to do all the plumbing, so I need as much light and access, so I'm not putting any doors on there yet until I do the plumbing. But other than that, last job I gotta do is the window seat. So I'm gonna take some measurements and I am going to head to Zabano. With my pencil sharpened, I think it's the perfect time to do a little bit of measuring. What I'm making here is the window seat or the window sill, whichever way you look at it, for the window up here in this little sitting area. Now the windows are huge and they're very low to the ground. It'll make a perfect little shelf or a little seat. It is awkward to fit though. The windows aren't exactly square in the opening, and as you can see, I've had to add a few pieces of trim at the side just to cover where it's not perfect. Overall though, happy. What are you kids up to?
Eating burgers, watching American Horror Story.
Living the good life, although this is just a black screen, so...
It's back room, so...
Are you here for the tour?
I sure am.
Come on.
And here we are, starting in the landing between the two bedrooms. These canvases have been stored away in a cold, dark barn for long enough, only waiting to see the light of day. This little rocking chair was in the house already. And here we have the chair also used by the lady who used to live here. I love both of these.
So we got permission from our kids to show you their bedrooms just this one time. It's nothing fancy. This bed is lovely. It's the old antique bed. The wardrobe fits all his clothes. He's happy out with it. He's got a little bit of storage. He's got some cool artwork. And he has a nice desk set up, which he kind of designed himself. He loves these LEDs. It's a custom desk. It suits his gaming and sketching needs, and he's quite happy in this room. He has pretty much everything he needs.
This is a lovely bathroom. I suppose a little bit by mistake because we ran out of the black tiles for the shower, but I think it's just worked out super. There's a few small bits to finish, such as you saw the pipe work down there at the bottom and underneath the shower. But they are things that we can do. At least it's a usable space now. And he's already used the shower, despite the fact that it's only cold water. So here you can see the tiles. We ran out of the geometric ones, and so we had to continue with, they're just black floor tiles, but they look like slate, and it does look really good. Very, very upmarket for a teenage bedroom. But he's thrilled with it, and has everything that he needs. So, happy boy. So every time I open the door here, it reminds me I still have to paint it white. But it's another beautiful room, Ciara's room. She's happy out, she has all her bits. The bed worked out very well with the homemade headboard, and she even has her own little desk as well that she put in herself. So, all in all, another fabulous room. They're small spaces, but cozy spaces. And she gets a lot of heat as this is directly above the stove. Here, another lovely sliding door by Rob. They're super because obviously it doesn't open into the room, so it doesn't take up the space. So all in all, happy girl here. Here's her bathroom. She has got the geometric tiles all the way around, so everything is sort of as we had planned, and with the black tiles on the floor again though, which is nice. Still some pipe work to cover up here and there, and a little bit of grouting around the sink. But all in all, we are there. She has not used the shower yet, as she refuses to have a cold shower. Doesn't she, Rooney?
But this is the main event. Absolutely spectacular Snug.
Sure is the coziest little space we could have ever asked for. It's just super. And it was a very dark day when we were filming this, so this is why we have the lights on. But normally, actually, with the white ceilings and the white walls, the room has been transformed with light.
Couldn't have imagined it getting any more perfect than this. We are delighted to have it. And we managed to put our photos up, which really make the room, don't they?
It does, yeah.
Marvellous.
My safety Crocs.
Welcome to our home.
Finally, we have somewhere that we can actually call a cozy, warm room.
A snug, some might say.
Yeah, not completely finished, but very much nearly there. A bit different to how it was this time last year.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us for the last week. The videos have been kind of like a nice countdown. We're still not done, but we really gave a week of superhuman effort to get it nice for the kids when they came back. And I think we've got there. I think the kids were delighted when they came back.
I think just to have bedrooms after living in a field in a caravan for almost a year, to have bedrooms ready for them when they came off the plane, ready to go, it was just everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a huge difference. And it's pretty cool that we have this snug all finished, because I was saying to Claire, I remember last Christmas we got in, there was holes all over the house, there was like gales blowing everywhere, but we managed to get a sofa right in front of the fire, and it did get pretty cold at night. As I was saying to our neighbours, that we could feel the heat from the fire, and this gives off a nice heat, but then the back of our heads was freezing. I don't know if I have a clip or something, but we can show you. And it means a huge deal that we have this place pretty much, this side of the house is pretty much perfectly done now.
Yeah.
There's a few things, but this is what it's gonna be. It just fits our sofa perfectly.
It does. We couldn't believe this sofa came from Dubai. Probably one of the very few things we've bought, because we tend to go and recycle most things or pick up things in different places from along, like the Victorian beds and the Ciara's bed, which is very cheap, but we sort of recycled things to make it look better. But this is probably one of the only things that we've ever really bought new.
Yeah.
And
it was 50 or it was 60% off.
We had it there in a couple of places, and then we brought it home, and we had it in our old house, and we had it in our conservatory, and now it's perfect. And in some ways I thought it would be too big, but actually I love that you could just snuggle up here on a cold winter's day or something with a blanket, and
it's not far off that now. It's torrential rain.
Yeah, it's absolutely torrential outside at the moment. So it's just, and the heat that this little stove gives out is massive in here.
Kids are in their other room, in our kitchen and they're watching a movie on the big screen. So I think they might do that more often, and it might just be us.
Yeah, to have the two
relax.
spaces was really important for us anyway, I think. We've always kind of had the 2 rooms and it's kind of worked
An
well.
adult and a kid's room.
Yeah, just as you know, when families get older, it's nice to be able to have the 2 spaces that people can hang out in. Yeah, it works really, really well. This room in particular hosts lots of pictures of East Cork. This is where we used to live, so it's quite nice. We dug all of these out of the barn because we were very worried about them getting mouldy. So it was lovely to put them up and just bring back sort of the memories.
Yeah, I think almost every photo is like taken by me, or maybe a few were taken by you as well, but
Yeah, mostly yours.
I don't really like putting other people's paintings or pictures up, but I like our ones to bring back good memories. But this was a monumental effort. It's done, and myself and Claire for the last day were just kind of like, oh, what do we do now? Because there's loads of things that we can fine tune and get perfect, but I don't think we want to get perfect yet. I think we want to get done, or done-ish is the term, in other spaces before we perfect this.
So like when you have a new house and you have a snag list, isn't it? We have one hell of a snag list.
So you must be wondering, what do we do next? And that's a great question. What do we do next, Claire?
It would be lovely to say we don't have anything to do next, but we do. We have the little space outside of the kitchen, which is going to be our dining space. We have a table to go in there. So it's just a case of finishing off. To be honest, there isn't a whole lot to do in there, is there?
No, not really.
Just a bit of fixing up of the wall. This is the back of this wall, so it's the exterior room wall of the house, which is double height. And we hope to be able to put some more of our pictures and that sort of thing up there. And we have a table that I need to paint. This is a really old pine table, but we've had it from day one. Kira used to sit at it and do her homework on it.
The
Still
old
has,
farmhouse kitchen table, yeah.
Little marks from when they sat in it when they were small. So it's always gone everywhere with us. And it's sort of slim and narrow, so it'll fit nicely in front of the big window there. That's what we're planning to do.
That's only short term, like that should take two, 3 weeks, I think.
Oh God, not even, I'd say.
Well, never say never.
Yeah. There's obviously the last room, which is the parlour, which is...
What is a parlour? A lot of people are asking about the parlour. This is the Snug. In my mind, this was always like houses didn't really have a Snug in Ireland.
No.
I don't know when that started. In Ireland, we had a good room and we had a family room. And the family room lived in the family room, and when guests came, you might sit in the good room.
I only ever knew of the good room. I didn't know of it as the parlour even. I don't know really where that actual word came from.
Parlour is even older, like what I was talking about. So a good room is very much like Irish people that lived in a housing estate. But the parlour was the good room in vernacular houses like this. So this room would have been slightly bigger. It would have had a big kind of ingle nook, and they would have cooked on the fire, and this was it. They'd sit around the fire, they'd cook on the fire, and when guests came, they would have gone into the parlour, which would have been the fancier room. And you can see that because these beams are kind of nice, and we can restore them because they would have been exposed. The beams in the parlour would never have been exposed. It would have been covered ceilings. So the beams in the parlour, therefore, they don't look good because they were never exposed.
The parlour will be our guest bedroom / kind of office. There will be a bed going in there, another old bed going in there, and then it's quite a sizable room actually. It's sort of the same as this again. There's a bit to do in there because out of every room in the house, it probably was the dampest. The reason for that is because, and even still now, the ground outside is a little bit higher than the ground in the parlour, so it makes it damp. So we do know we've done a bit of work. And the chimney was open, yes.
Bucketing in.
Yeah, it was a massive chimney actually, which is why I think I'm kind of looking forward to taking off the plasterwork, because I don't know what we might find under there. But it does seem to be a very small little fireplace in there, but the size of the chimney is such that I think maybe there was a bigger fireplace at some stage. But we'll see. But so now there's no roof. The roof just goes over what was the fireplace, and so it's a good bit drier, but there's still there's some work outside that we need to do with the digger in order to put drains around the house. Really, we knew we had to do that anyway.
So to recap, for the next 2-ish weeks, Claire will be finishing off our dining room, and you'll be plastering and painting in there and fitting the new table. Then after that, she'll move into the parlour, and that is, you're going to strip back one of the walls. You need to dig out a little bit of the ground, and I need to dig out externally to help with the drainage. Then you plaster and paint and put it back together as a guest bedroom, hopefully so we can have guests at Christmas, if anyone's looking. Then some things we have to do in the house which they won't be done, I'm not sure when they'll be done, but not in the near time, is the bathroom and our bedroom. That needs to be done, but it's not priority because the kids can use their bathrooms upstairs, so now we're the only ones using the guest bathroom essentially. Our wardrobe or walk-in wardrobe, that needs to be done, but we just have clothes thrown all over our bedroom, so it's functional at the moment. There is a draft in there, there is a hole, I gotta plug that before it gets super bad. So then that would be the house done. Oh, and then there is obviously the little hallway here and the stairs we just gotta do. We were gonna take out the stairs and do something a bit more modern, but I think for the time being we're just gonna patch it up and continue because it's fine really. And then that's the whole house done. No, sorry, it's not. In the kitchen, then what I'll do when Claire's starting out there is I'll put the doors on the cabinets and I will put the window trims all around the windows. Then I think the house will absolutely be done, won't it?
I think so, yeah.
And after that, I will get on my, guys, it's torrential rain out here. I might show you in a minute. But then after that's done and the house is done, we'll kind of ease down a little bit towards the end of the year. This is something we absolutely couldn't do for the last year and a half. But just kind of slow down towards the end of the year, take it easy, and then pick up in the new year. So what I see happening in the new year, I have one really interesting project which isn't quite house related or homestead related. We'll let you know about that a little bit later. Primarily the most I'm going to do is going to be all landscaping next year. So I need to dig a huge channel for the pump house, I need to set up the solar, I need to get the electricity from the pump house to the house, I need to dig down the land just in front of the house here to help with the parlour, and we're going to put some nice kind of a paving or beds right in front of the house. I'm going to bring flagstone paving all around the house, so we should have a flagstone footpath all around the house. And then we're going to put a little courtyard right in front of the kitchen where it's kind of sunken down a little bit. And we're going to take back towards the end of the year is the barns. I'm going to remove one barn from its current location and just push it back. And of course we have the party barn. We do have some tiny homes that we're planning to build. I'm not terribly sure when we're going to start on them. I might do a little bit of foundation for them over winter if we get good weather. That's pretty much going to tie us up, I reckon, for the next year. So just giving you a heads up now on what we have left to do this year and wind down, and then next year a whole new series of plans for us.
That's us kind of pretty much tied up. So we have a little bit of news on the grant. As you know, we applied for the vacant grant with derelict top up for this house, and were approved back in
April 23.
We had 18 months. We were one of the early ones to get in and get 18 months to complete. So our 18 months was up in September. So we have submitted everything, all of our receipts and everything that we spent in order to get back the full 70,000. We spent a little bit more than that. We will do a whole update on finance and money spent and all of that later on. We did spend over the 70,000, so we do hope to get the full 70,000 back. So they have been in touch. They were in touch when we sent off the documentation. We sent it off early. We sent it off in August. They let us know then that they were 6 weeks behind, and we heard last week that they wanted just a few further invoices and receipts, which we provided. So you do have to have invoices and receipts for absolutely everything. Well, in Cork you do anyway. So that they were just missing a couple of receipts, I think, for just one company in particular that we bought most of our construction stuff off. So we provided those, or we were able to gain those from the company and pass them on, and they've okayed all of that and have since told us that we are expecting a visit from the inspector. So we've heard nothing yet.
For Irish people that were in primary school, you used to get a visit from the inspector once a year, and the teacher would make sure that everything was perfect and clean, and they tell you that work you're meant to do and you have to be on your best behaviour.
Yeah, that's funny actually.
Yeah, so we're waiting on our inspector visit.
Yes, so we'll know more when he comes, he or she or whoever it is.
Fingers crossed we can put all of this behind us and just take the kind of pressure of having to meet somebody else's expectations off us, and we can just start to do the projects that we want to do that are maybe unrelated to the derelict house. So if the inspection is successful, which we hope it will be, next step will be we'll have to do some paperwork. We don't have a loan on the house, so we don't have to deal with a bank, thankfully, but we will need to get a solicitor to put Cork County Council on our deed, so that if we sell the house within 10 years or rent it within 5 years, we'll have to pay them back a percentage of the grant that they give us. So I think that's the very last thing we'll have to do, and then it'll be home free for us. Clare mentioned we will be having, once all of that's finalised and we know where all our money is and what we get back, we will do a complete breakdown of the house. How much it cost, what parts we did, how much things like the roof cost, how much the walls cost, how much the foundations cost, how much we totally spent, and how much we estimate is left to spend. Complete cost of that. We will also do a complete A to Z house tour of all the rooms in the house, which you've got a taste of right now, but we have a few more rooms to finish off, and we'll do a full tour on that. And then we will also do another garden tour, A to Z, what our plans are for all of that, and expect them to come up within the next month, I would say. And we might actually put together another video of everything we plan to do in the next, say, year and a half.
Have we any more to add to this? I think not.
We're very tired. It's been a long 18 months, but it's been a very long 7 days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of late nights. We got it done.
But it's amazing how much you can get done to just get stuck in.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
Slán go fóill.
Gur míle maith agat.